Hello and welcome to Wendy's Way. Today we are making another journey in food. I'm going to do something I've never done before. I have seen several people now doing it on YouTube, and I will offer all the disclaimers that they have offered. I am going to be pressure canning butter. And there are a lot of different reasons that one may want to do this. Primarily, I think the folks I watched are doing it because they either live off-grid, and so it reduces the amount of refrigeration that they need. They purchase butter when they can get it as cheap as possible, and this will, secure it for years in the pantry, not refrigerated. I am going to do it because it seems I always, either for use on toast or in a recipe, baking and things, I always need room temperature butter, and I have to take it out of the refrigerator and wait for it. So I'm going to can butter. The disclaimer is that there are no federal, county, state guidelines on pressure canning butter because the quality of the butter itself is not consistent from one brand to another, from one type to another. There's really no way that they could study it and come up with a consistent format to guarantee that if you do it this way, it's not going to harm you, it's going to be healthy for you. So, as with most of the canning that I do on Wendy's Way, these are things that I choose to do in the way that I choose to do them. I am not telling you that you can or that you should. Every time you preserve food, you're basically accepting any risk involved for food poisoning or anything like that. So, that being said, I'm going to pressure can butter. I saw people who just did it with hot jars and hot butter, and they didn't either pressure can or even hot water bath it. They just used hot jars and hot butter until it's sealed. I'm not that confident. Anything that it does not have a high acid content, I'm going to put it through my pressure canner. I just am. So, what I'm going to be canning is the type of butter that we splurge on our limited budget to purchase. And it is Kerrygold grass-fed butter from Ireland. It's an amazing product. It has so much flavor and nutrients than not grass-fed butter that you'll find. And always, for me and for your own health, use butter, not margarine. Margarine is just technically a man-made product that's almost plastic. Please don't eat it. Don't put it in your body. So, grass-fed Kerrygold butter. From what I've learned also, they say to either use the not salted or a combination of the two, because you are going to cook it down a bit. You're going to take part of the milk fats off, kind of like halfway to making ghee. And if you do the salted, it's going to be grainy, and the salt's going to be strong in the butter. So, as they suggest, I'm going to use both. I'm going to do half and half. I have 8 pounds. No, 8 half pounds of butter here. So, and I'm going to be putting it in half-pint jars. I think that's about the right quantity. Each jar will probably hold the equivalent of a stick of butter. And they have wide mouth which makes them easy to access. I'm going to pressure can them. I'm going to use my tools, my jar tool. I'm going to use my funnel, and take you with me here a second. We're going to jiggle again. I am also, need to stick this out there where you can see me. Should have made a separate segment, but that's okay. I'm going to cook them on the cooktop in this large aluminum pan. I'm going to use my Rada ladle. I don't have a Rada spoon with holes here, but I'll link one. And I'm going to use my Presto canner. Okay, I'm going to get busy with a little help from one of my favorite friends and family members. And we're going to get the process started, and I'll come back and tell you more about it as we go. Thank you for joining us again at Wendy's Way. Okay, we're in process now. We have put 8 pounds of butter, 16 packages, they're half-pound packages, half salted, half not salted, into our big aluminum pan. It is almost all melted. We're not going to stir it an awfully lot. We're going to keep it on like a medium heat, and once it's all melted, we're going to let it simmer, not quite at a boil, but we're going to let it simmer for a while. Skim off some of that good foam off the top, you know, probably put it on vegetables later or something. And then we will put it into these half-pint jars that we've opened up and are good to go. And we'll come back later and show you when we're in process again. Okay, next up. Thankfully, my helper reminded me I needed to film it. So we used half-pint jars, and we filled 20 half-pint jars, or jelly jars, up to the line. That's about 1 inch from the top of the jar. I put my rack in the bottom, and I stacked them. We could have fit several more, probably 2 dozen. Anyway, we have 20. We're going to put the lid on and continue on the process, and we'll be back. Okay, we brought the canner up to pressure, which for my canner is 11 pounds. We pressure canned the butter for 60 minutes at 11 pounds. I've just taken them out of the canner. There are a couple of them that haven't popped yet. So, you know, they're still gonna bubble, toil and trouble for a little while yet. As soon as they start cooling off, and when I know they've all sealed, I will start shaking them. And it'll take a while. I'll have to shake them many times to, you know, reintegrate the butterfats. It looks like, you know, I had one young helping me, and she did a bang-up job. Not very experienced with canning at all, and didn't look like we got real even parts, you know, but I don't care. It's an awesome project, and we're going to use it up regardless. But for the next several hours, I'll probably be out here shaking up this butter as it cools and re-solidifies. And when we're all done, I will show you the finished product. All right, here we go. I grabbed those two. Starting to cool down just a little bit. So we're going to give it the shake, rattle, and roll. And we're probably going to have to do this every 15 minutes to a half hour, so that the butter will, you know, recombine. Alrighty, I'm not done yet, but I've only shaken them about 3 times, and every time I shake them, they seem to stay together longer. So I'm just going to keep shaking them until I can tell that they are thick enough that they're not going to separate anymore. I'm really excited with the results of this. I think it's going to be awesome just to go into the pantry and grab a jar and have room temperature butter anytime I need it. So there's another project for Wendy's Way. One for the books that we'll redo whenever we need to. I appreciate you joining me today. I hope that the good Lord blesses you as he blesses me each and every day of my life. Amen.